It's all about the blood, the sweat, the gears. Yes, gang, today we investigate the Generations offshoot we're calling Transformers Retro, which bestows the recent deluxe mini-bots with bright and breezy toy-inspired decos, repacks them in feverishly nostalgic card backs for that full 80s toy shop effect, and steals all their facial features except Bumblebee. So we better get the G1s out to make sure they've got it right. This is, after all, academia. Thew's awesome peer reviews. Come on, get your ass in gear. Zzz. And not the other way around. Well then, here's Gears, the stalwart, grumpiest Autobot, who was so cantankerous that his Spotlight episode saw him embroiled in a brainwashing scam that his mates immediately clocked because he was being nice.
What did you do to Gears, you monster?
None of which came across in his adorable debut toy, which was, of course, among the first-year fistful of micro-sized mini-mans as a mighty simple and simply mighty beat-boot boss man. There is simply no resisting the straightforward cyborg stodge of little Gears Morgan here. His blissfully basic body blocks stomping up on ridiculous red boots, with hefty 4x4 tires popping and his whole truck mode stashed on his ass end. It is very GoBot. It's always wild to me how this whole look is so entirely him. I mean, the Transformer world doesn't exactly have a shortage of red and blue robots, but these are such vibrant tones, and paired with the signature triple wide plate face, dazzling shiny thighs and stripy yellow necktie nectimeter? It is and can only be Gears. Posability's better than some. We've got fully separate legs with knees on the go, and he can swing up his sweet horizontal hands like he's riding a bike, and he transforms in a second and a half by denying he has limbs and snuggling up into a beautiful off-road stankmobile, which, well, I can't quite decide if it's super deformed or not. I am pretty sure it's brilliant. I want to ride in there. I love being high up. Now, this next point, I know there's been a lot of chat about this recently, I know we're all sick of it, but it'd be weird to do a video about Gears without bringing up that this wasn't originally a Takara toy, right? Unlike the bulk of the 84 crew, Gears and a few others were drafted in not from Microchange or the other one, Diaclone, but from a different abandoned thing called the Mysterians from US-based Knickerbocker Toys. Thanks for making me say that word. And that's why he and Brawn and Huffer have these enigmatic sculpted M's hidden in clandestine corners or clumsily cloaked by slapped-on Autobot badges. And it's why they share that awesomely alien invadery featureless machine face look. These ain't your cheery new robot friends. These are Mysterians, spooky metal men from outer space, birthed from pulpy paranoid Cold War sci-fi. Ooh, are they one of us? Could your car be a communist? It's such a vibe. So fearlessly chintzy and camp. Straight out of that bit of the 80s when the 80s was still the 70s, and I'm way into it. I always loved how bizarre and inhuman they looked, and I respected how straight they were played in the Ladybird books, drawing the toys as the characters with zero kid-friendly corporate correction. For me, that's way cooler and way more legit than the committee-tested relatable robot boys that wound up on screen. Why'd you give him a face? Get him, Optimus. Anyway, G1 Gears is nice and it makes me feel things. Built like a 1x1 Lego brick. And as with most of G1, little Gears for Fears went on hollybobs for a few years. He did poke his head in for the supporting Revenge of the Fallen line, who didn't? And it was nice to see him, the mold was a good fit, but I like Stockade when he is Stockade. So Gears made his main comeback in the Generations 2013-14 bit, with this Legends class toy that I always wanted to love, but I was only ever sort of 3/4 satisfied. Like, this figure was always Swerve first, and as Gears it feels very, that'll do, coming off a touch too top-heavy and serious face to really be a good time in its own right. I mean, the alt mode's decent, but the robot's all shoulders, the arms are weird, colours don't really pop, the micro Target Master guy comes off a bit try-hard, a bit we need a gimmick, and real shit, having a face doesn't suit him. It looks silly in there, adrift in the meat betwixt these massive square brackets that half try to look toy accurate if you squint. I don't know, I feel mean saying all this, because I was happy enough with this toy for years, but now it's been overshadowed senseless by the new one. Yes indeed, Legacy United Gears brings us bang up to date as part of a staggered wave of minibot upgrades kicking ass in the deluxe class, and I was not asked. These new minibots ain't really been doing it for me. Well, I enjoyed the novelty and scarcity of Cosmos for a bit, until I realised I preferred the Legends one. Warpath and Beachcomber weren't really better enough than the existing Generations toys to fulfill a need for me. Huffer? very mid, so hopes were not high for Gears. But then they whacked up the HSL and scrubbed his eyes off, and suddenly I was very interested. The box definitely helped, can't lie. Check out this wonderfully evocative and mercilessly 80s obsessed oversized card back, complete with the original artwork and Battle Vista, cut out and keep tech spec, and even the outdated Hasbro logo. Love that. Just needs the instructions on the back and we're vibing. Gotta say, never thought I'd get sick of the old school Transformers logo, but I don't love what it's come to mean. Well, I've got so used to seeing it on lazy reissues and cash grab collaborative figures that it always smacks of opportunism now, and it's very odd to see it on a current generation Transformers toy from the main line. It makes it feel like a collab release. What if Transformers was Transformers? I suppose that is kind of what it is. I wonder why they packed him with his chest plate off. It's not like it does anything. It doesn't double as a shield. It's not an accessory. It doesn't even come off. You get him out, you pop it on, and that's the end of it. It just makes him look worse in there. Doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get into this gorgeous little gearbox. So Little Gear Factory here is, as he should be, a squat and stumpy short stack. Shorter than most deluxes, bar Cliff Jumper, but packing heaps of heart. He really is the spit of the original Git, effortlessly echoing his playful pugnacity, matching his shades like the Dulux promise, and delighting in the deliberately dated details. Like, the massive golden V-neck is such a statement, and I love that he's got the tiny triptych of notches on his knackers, and while his tyres have been tidied up inside the bod, they're still suggested on his shoulders. It's a real love letter, man. A toy of a toy. Pretty paying for play points, packing a very normal gun, which looks like a gun. Stash it on the back for a cheeky Megatron moment. Plus his breastplate flips up to reveal an Amstratical computer console with floppy disk drive. Little man also treats us to a surprise banquet of poses, serving up way more motion than you'd think a grouch like Gears could be bothered with. Rocking way gnarlier knees than he needs, with a K. Plus absurdly agile arms like a string of elastic together Jenga blocks. Ankle tilts for his squonky stompers, and even a waist wind. There can be a touch of clashage between the head and the backpack, seeing as they're both massive and both vying to occupy the same cubic centimeter of space and the same purpose. It's very funny that the head reproduces the grill and the fender nubbins when the real ones are right there. I mean, the backpack ain't much bother in practice, but it is wider than he is. And look, we've got the Mysterian M twice upside down for a big double dub. But it is the head that really makes this thing for me. Was that clear? Have I said that enough times? That is as minimal as faces get. Just a blue ribbon on a folded paper plate that seems to be wearing braces. It's such a mind hack, because in contrast to the regular Legacy Gears, whose face very pointedly and full-chestedly said nope, this is a total tabula rasa, like a mirror expressing only what you bring to it. And the toy makes me happy, so to me he comes off plucky and carefree. Gears minus the crank. Cheerful Gears. Cheers! With an A. So Gears gears up in a not wholly surprising way. The legs flip over and the arms tuck in, while the wheels unpack from both poles of the chest, leaving him looking for a moment like he's impaled on the ghost of his alt mode. But it's all very tidy work. Shout out to the fold-out foot flaps, that frequently goes weird. But here, seamless. And the van mode does not stick the landing. It's like almost there. We've had a go. The chonkiness and the poump and a lot of the details are present, but it lands messy. Like the doors are a state and the chest plate looks well daft back there. And the whole thing doesn't seem to be in scale with itself. It's such a mightily tall and muscular vehicle, but it's trundling around on these silly little baby shopping trolley wheels. Oh dear. You know, I've a sneaking feeling these aren't the intended tires. Those arches float way up over them like surprised eyebrows, and there's a lot of dead space in the backpack. So it seems to me like they began the design process with much meatier mudslingers in mind. But maybe they couldn't make the chest work or whatever, so they overcorrected, and now we're left with this silly monster truck on clown stilts. It kind of breaks the illusion, and I find myself wondering what this vehicle even is. I mean, when he's a mini-bot, you don't mind it. It's Gears. Brilliant. But the deluxe scale scale magnifies all the flaws and shit starts not adding up. Like, what is even going on back here? That's not a flatbed with a canopy, is it? Or a boot? It's just robot shoe storage. But listen, I'm not mad about it. It's still fun. Nice to see the M show up again. I'm obsessed with that. And if the wheels truly bug you, we can Fifth Element the out of it for a daft bloaty floatmobile. So for me, Gears is the best Gears since Gears. This is just what I want from a guy like him. An enjoyably cheeky, compact robo-lad that fumbles the dismount a bit, but shamelessly captures the exact energy of the 80s toy in a way that few modern figures manage. I mean, I know when I'm being pandered to. It's friggin' Panda Express over here. But it's worked! There's such a joy to it. If this is how it feels to collect the retro capsule, I might have a go on Brawn. Right, that's me done. I'm off for a bottle of gear. Zzz. Alright, we did one, we're back. Sorry for the massive gap, it happens sometimes. It gappens. Gears for watching anyway. Massive thanks as always to everyone who supports me, and a special patron shout out to you Freighties. Psst, it wasn't random. It was always gonna be you. Chatting about Gears, gotta say hi to you Freighties. Thank you so much team, on to the next one.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.